Greetings, Commanders. This is Commander Atlas Rand, and today I'm going to do a video for the November community goal, which just started a day or two ago. So by the time you're watching this, you should still have plenty of time, unless you're watching it, of course, toward the very end of November, at which point it's probably already finished. But this community goal is an interesting one because it's focused on exobiology, aka tree scanning, bioscanning, life form scanning, whatever you want to call it. First off, let me show you where it takes place. So it is over here in the HIP 87621, and for some reason I noticed this yesterday too, is it's not really marked as a community goal. Usually the community goal has a separate icon, and it's not marked with one, which is strange. So take note of the planet, or the system, HIP 87621. Once you're there, you want to do a full scan, which is what I just did. This shows you everything that we have in the system. I show you the visual view of that right here. A fairly compact system, and it may actually be good for mining. I haven't really checked the rings to see what kind of mining is here. It only has one station, which is this Exobiology Sciences, which is a asteroid station. Love the asteroid stations. I always liked them. Even before colonization came out, there were certain places, they were very rare, but occasionally you would find a asteroid station. That was always very cool back then. But in this system, you can see that we have four, actually, this one back here as well, that's not very visible. So 4 planets that have both an atmosphere and they're landable. So amongst these 4 planets, they're all very close to the sun, and even closer to this planet right here. They have a new type of life form, which you're going to see shortly. And this light form is what you want to scan and then bring back to Exobiology Sciences to drop that off on foot. Remember, this whole community goal thing is going to be on foot because it's focused on the exobiology. But you're going to want to drop it off at the Exobiology Science Station. The money that you're going to make from this is not very big. I'll tell you that right away. You're not going to really do this community goal for the money. You're going to do it for the reward. And the reward is for the top 75% of the people that do it. Let's go ahead and go to the station here. So the top 75% will get a fully engineered up to tier 5 Artemis suit. What's an Artemis suit? That's what I'm wearing right now. Now, I'm wearing a tier 2 Artemis suit. You will get a tier 5 Artemis suit out of this, which is very good. Normally it requires you to do a lot of different tasks to unlock engineers, to hop around different planets. It's a pain in the butt. Getting a level 5 pre-engineered suit is awesome. So it's well worth doing this community goal just for that. And I'm going to be doing it on every single one of my accounts here. I already did it on one account, so now we're logging in on the second account where we're going to do this community goal. So the first thing I'm going to do is stop by the station to register for the community goal. Now, typically you don't have to register first. You can start doing the actual stuff, whatever the community goal stuff is first. But I don't mind registering there, and I'll also double check and make sure I have all the correct equipment for doing the community goal. And you'll see the station. It's the only one in the system, and it is an asteroid, so it's in the belt, which I think makes it look cooler. And since there's a lot of people doing this, you'll probably see a lot of chat scrolling by of people talking about things relating to the CG, or just talking about the stuff in general. Ganker. Now they're talking about gankers, so let me mention gankers as well. There we go. Now it's fully loaded in. Do not do this or any community goals in open, unless you really like risking getting your ship blown up. But it's honestly not worth it. Is what I would say. There's no benefit to doing it in open. If you want to do it with friends, you can do it in a closed group to where only your friends and you are going to be in that group, and there is no possibility of anybody else, aka gankers, being in the group with you. So open is only really for people who want to do PvP or who want to have PvP around them and want to see if they can escape, but are fully aware that they're risking their ship getting blown up. For most people, that's not really all that interesting. So for most people, you're not going to want to do it. Let's go ahead and grab a parking space. So let's see here. There we go. So we'll go ahead and land automatically in there. Now you don't need to have the auto landing be turned on to do the community goal, but you will be landing on the planet. And I do think it's a little easier to find that landing spot on the planet if you do have auto landing installed. Not required. In fact, I did it with my other account without it, but it does make it a little bit easier to where in moments like this where you're landing, you can just check your email, grab a drink, do whatever, and not worry about manually taking care of this. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, go to mission board, community goal. There's only one, of course. Select it. And you can see I have 0 samples collected. We'll go ahead and sign up. Now you can see the different tiers there now that we're signed up. I will tell you, as of the time of recording this, which is the second day of the event. So there's now 12 more days to go. As of right now, the top 75%, which is what you need in order to get the engineered suit, is at a minimum of 9 scans. Top 50% is a minimum of 25. Top 25% is a minimum of 60. And the top 10 commanders are doing over 1,000 scans, which is crazy because you don't really get anything for them other than bragging rights. I think there's only been one community goal where I got into the top 10, and I decided I will never do that again. That's way too much work. So, you do want to make sure you get in the top 75 because really that's the only reason to do the community goal is to get that free suit pre-engineered. If it's at 9 today, it was at 8 last hour. I'm going to guess it's going to be over 50 for 75% by the time this is done in 2 weeks. So I would just plan on doing, I'd say a bare minimum of 25, but just to be safe, I would do 50 scans and then drop them off here for your contributions. We'll see how close we get to that, but I think a lot of people are going to, anyone who's going to be doing this is going to try to get into the top 75, which is going to keep pushing that top 75 number further and further up. And there's nothing worse than missing being in the top 75 by 1%. So now what do we need? We don't really need anything. I'll show you what I've got in here. Actually, I'm not going to because that'll just take time. You don't need a rover. You don't need an SRV. You're going to be on foot. So all you need is a small ship. I'm using a medium ship because I don't know. I just happen to grab this one. Don't bring a large ship. It's going to be more of a pain in the ass. So bring a small ship, preferably a medium ship if you don't have a small ship. Or if you prefer being in a, the Mandalay obviously has longer jump range. So I have a preference for being in a ship with good jump range for coming out here. Because this place, as I mentioned, is not super close. I'm going to pull this up as we pull away from the station. I'm going to pop open the screen again. You can see that's where we are. This is where the bubble is, this main group of bookmarks. So we're a ways. If I select Sol as the sort of center of the bubble, right, that's where the bubble starts. Sol is 411 light years away. So plan on that being probably 8 jumps out from Sol in a decently engineered ship, or maybe 6 if you have a Mandalay that's fully engineered. But either way, it's not super close. Now, it's actually not very far from some of my systems, because these bookmarks out here are systems that I've done through colonization. So it doesn't feel like it's that far, but it's definitely not in the bubble. So plan accordingly. Now, once you're here, you've registered for doing the event. Go to navigation, and because I scanned everything, you will see these biological sites on here. Now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 planets that have biological sites listed, and as I mentioned previously, it's these 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So all we have to do is go to the closest one, which is probably that one, 2A. Or we could go to 2BA or 2BB. So let's go to 2A, because I know it's going to be pretty close. Get that selected, and it's going to be on the, of course, it's on the other side. That's typical. So let's go ahead and jump.
Drive charging. 4, 3, 2.
And we'll just swing around the planet. And let's see, is that the closest one? Yeah, it looks like I selected the closest one. So, where are we? Right there. I think it's inside the rings, if I remember. Yeah, it is inside the rings. So we're going to kind of stay inside the rings as we approach this planet. And there's now 2 things you should be aware of. All 4 of these planets are really hot. And so you have a choice to make here. You can either be on the dark side of the planet, so it's not in sunlight, it's dark outside, and it's still hot, but it's not going to affect your how many points you got in life. Basically, you're not going to die if you stay on the dark side of the planet. However, if we go to the light side, and that's what I'm going to do just to demonstrate this, you will start losing health, and it'll start dropping from 100 down to 0%. And once it hits 0, you will die. Let me show you a quick clip as we're approaching this planet of what I did with my other account, and then we'll be right back after you have a bit of a laugh. So unlike other plants, given the size of this thing, I guess we can scan areas of a plant rather than just one individual plant. Okay, so that one's done. Ready, Quita, and shit, what is going on? I'm hot. My vital signs are down. I need to get to the ship before I die here. Okay, I should have been keeping better track of that. So hopefully a lesson for everybody else here. Come back to the ship between scans, or just don't go anywhere near this hot an area. Uh-oh, I might die. Oh no, I'm totally gonna die. I'm totally gonna die here. All right, guys, there you go. There's the video. This is how you do the community goal. You get yourself killed and you lose a ton of unsaved. Yeah, critically injured. Look at that. Okay. So now that you saw what I did, because I wasn't thinking that I was in any danger, it just never occurred to me that I would actually get hurt from heat. Now you know what not to do. Why are we going so slow? Let's get there a little quicker. And there we go. That should be good. So we'll go ahead and land on the sunny side just so I can show you how to do it in the sun. But if you just don't want to think about having to track your health at all while you're doing this, just go to the dark side. Now, you say, well, how can I go to the dark side or the light side? Don't I just go to wherever that biological site is? So we'll go ahead and select the actual site. I'm going a little too fast, so let me just spin around. There we go. So that site looks like it's just on the dark side. All right, let's see if there's another one that we can do on the... I mean, it might be on the light side. It's hard to say. It's right on the edge. If you go to the crash site here... Is that on the light side? Oh, it's real close to it, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, they're basically right next to each other. So those two are basically the same site. So that's all you have listed for this planet. However, if you go to your probe launcher, and this is a small planet, it says only 2 probes. It's really going to be just one because I've got an engineered one. Boom. And scan. Now you can use the usual E and Q to select what you want to. There's a few things here. There's nauseous, which is like a mushroom thing. There's lava spouts, fumaroles, vents, bacteria, and fumarola is another type of live organism. So it doesn't really matter for this where you leave it. We're just gonna exit that. What we care about is going back here. Now you can see that we have 4 biological sites. So this is the original one that we selected. And then there are 3 more that popped up after we scanned. So let's see if any of these are in sunlight. That one looks like is in the darkness. How about this one? That one might be in light. And let's check the last one here as well. Okay, that one... I don't know which one of these is actually more likely to be in the light. There's one over that. Maybe that one is actually. Biological site. Yeah, probably that one. So that one, we'll fly to that one. Let's see if it's in light or not. If it's not in light, it's not a big deal. You already saw the video of what happens if you don't pay attention. And you want to try, and if you approach, I mean, do it however you like, obviously, but I try to keep it somewhere over 10 seconds for approach. That way you're not going to crash out of it. If you're going too fast, it'll actually crash you out before the glide slope. Here's the glide slope. So now we're just going to glide down. And already you're starting to see kind of a white little smudge, which is actually a cloud formation above that tree site, which is where we're going. So you can see it right in the middle of that circle. It's actually blue, not white. It looks white because the whole planet is colored blue right now, but once we get close enough, that blue color will go away and you'll see that the actual cloud is a light blue. There we go. So this is the real color of the planet. And that light blue is a cloud above the plants, which I guess is supposed to be spores. The plants are spitting out spores. I'm gonna lower my landing gear as we get closer. And you can see there are fumaroles here smoking away as well. There's a lot of stuff that's real close by. One thing I always recommend people do, well, 2 things. One is run ED Market Collector with the plugin to make sure that all your data is sent to EDSM, EDDB, Canon, everybody basically that collects data. The reason for that is because of what I'm about to do. So the first thing I do when I come to a new planet that I've never been to before is I like to scan all these things. So we have a variety of things here. So we have this. You can see that my scanner symbol lights up blue, which means now I can scan that formation. We get a little bit of Codex Discovery money. It's not for the money. I'm doing this so that it gets added to my list of where I've been that's going to be accessible from sending data to EDDB. So you'll be able to sort of backtrack what you saw, where you saw it, and whether or not you discovered it. These are obviously not brand new discoveries. They're only new to you, but I like to scan them on every new planet I go to. So we've got a variety of these little puffy things. Vapor ephemeral, vapor events. There's also, okay, here's the trees. You can see these lava here as well. So we're going to scan this. Lava, silicon magma lava spout. And I think that's going to be the exact same thing, so we're not going to bother scanning. Oh, look at that. It's underneath the tree roots. That actually looks very cool. And now, let's scan the tree. Because, same thing, you're close to it. You can scan it right from the ship. And that's a new discovery for us. So, now that we've done that, let's go ahead and lower the landing gear, which also will trigger an auto land system. Now, it's trying to fly away way too far. Let's get to an area that's flatter so my landing will be better. Let's see. How about this area right here? This looks pretty flat. We'll just kind of come in here, then let it figure out exactly where to auto land me. Somewhere in this general vicinity. There we go. And this is why I have even bothered putting in the auto landing, is just for this, just so I don't have to think about it. Next thing, you want to make sure you're wearing your Artemis suit, whatever current version. Doesn't matter how engineered it is. If you're not wearing it, make sure you go to loadouts, you select the Artemis suit. I have the Artemis, I have the Maverick here. I'm surprised they're colored the same. I usually like to have different colors in different suits. So let's change back to a Artemis suit here. Okay, default. Maverick, Artemis, manage loadouts. Yeah, there we go. So let's select our Artemis. Use that. And let's Maverick. What am I missing here? Artemis suit, Maverick suit. There. Now we're wearing the Artemis suit. Make sure it says Artemis up top. Then we're gonna get out. Okay, right away we get an unsafe temperature warning. It is light out. So you can see your green health circle on the bottom left is starting to go down. That's your timer. Now you hit 5 to bring up your sampler. You want to ping it right away because not every part of this plant is scannable. So you can only scan the parts that are highlighted green like this. And I ran out of juice. Okay, let's just recharge and jump back up there. All right, so this is be the first scan. Okay, next we ping again. We see where there's some more green that we're able to scan. There's one over there. And this one, actually, let's go over here. Right up top here. So I'm gonna land here, recharge real quick. Okay, that did not recharge me. And our health is going down, so we're actually going to skip that. Let me ping that again. We're going to drop down here, and we're going to scan this bit. Now, normally I can get 3 scans done before my health drops significantly enough. Ping again. So, rather than attempting to die, I'm just going to go right back to the ship. So going back to the ship will get your health back up to full. And you can see we're very close to dead here. So let's get back in. I've got 2 scans right now. Like I said, normally I can do 3 of them before I go back to the ship. If I'm in sunlight, if I'm not in sunlight, then I can go back and do unlimited scans. Really, it's just a matter of how long does my battery last. So let's get back out. Yes, yes, unsafe temperatures. Right away we'll go hit 5 to get our device out. There we go. And then do a quick ping. And now, let's see what we can... So there's one right here we can scan. I mean, there's actually a lot of them, but we can do that one. Bounce off of here. And then ping again right here. So this will be the third one, third scan. And now, for anyone who's used to doing exobiology, this is what's so different about this particular CG, right? We've done this full scan, so all of these should be done, but they're not. Now, all we have to do is go back to another area that's showing up green like this. All right, there we go. Alrighty. Okay, we could do either one of these. So go back to the green. Scan again. And this is something you normally cannot do when you're scanning different biologicals on planets. So we'll do a quick scan there. So we can do that one. Do a quick ping again. And we're going to go back to the ship again because not quite enough time. Now, if I was on the back side of the planet, the dark side, this would just not be an issue. Go ahead and board again. And we're not dropping anything off when we boarded. We're just resetting our health, essentially. And then come back out again. Hit 5, do a ping.
Warning. Suit thermal limit exceeded.
Go over here. Do the scan of the third one. Just like that. So now we've scanned this plant twice. And I'm going to ping one more time here. And you'll see that there's still plenty of green to scan here. Now, those are discus over there. So we could scan those as well if we wanted to. But you could essentially just keep scanning the same plant over and over and over and over. It's just for this CG. And it doesn't work for any other types of plants. Just for this one. But now that we've scanned 2 of these. 2 complete ones. Oh, have I scanned? Let me see if I can scan this thing. I don't think I have this. Maybe I do. Event pre-scanned like this. Oh, that's funny. It's blowing me. It's pushing me up. All right. Let's get out of here.
Landing gear retracted.
So we did 6 independent scans, which means we have 2 scans of that plant.
Frameshift drive charging.
And now we're going to fly back to the station.
3.
And you don't have to fly back to the station. You can just keep doing this over and over and over. I'm flying back to the station just to keep this video a little shorter. Because people are already going to complain about how long this video is, as they always do. There we go. But it's all shot as a single shot for you guys, so that there's no... Oh shit, I got too close to the planet. So that there's no, you know, cuts of things that are different that you would see from what I'm doing. Alright, don't run back into the planet the way I just did. But other than that, it's the same process. Okay, let's point this way so we can leave. And then fly this way. Go around the planet. And stop. Hopefully I stop not too far away. And now we're going to approach out. Well, it's not too bad. Approach this from the other side here. And it's a ring, so we're going to go down into it. So I like to fly a little bit above or a little bit below the rings, and then dip down once you're actually pretty close to them. Let's make sure we have our super cruise assist on to pull us out automatically. Oh, incidentally, you know, you don't have to do this, but might as well, right? Might as well scan the ring to see if there's any hotspots in it. And then go ahead and die. Nope, no hotspots. Doesn't look like this ring has any. So mining may not be great on here. So I am, as I said, going back to the station just to sell this and show you what exactly to do. But for the CG, you could literally stay on one planet, not just one planet, but on the same group of plants, and just keep hopping from plant to plant to plant and scanning all of the ones that are being pinged as green. That's very unique to the CG, obviously, because normally you can only scan one plant in the entire planet. So if you land and you scan one, you get 3 samples of that same plant, that's it. You're done. That whole planet's done. For this CG, not only can you scan multiple areas per planet, but you can scan multiple plants in the same area. So you don't even have to fly around to different locations. So like here you can see we have biological sites, biological site, biological site, biological site. You don't even have to go to different biological sites. You can literally just go to one site and then just keep scanning and scanning and scanning and scanning. And obviously at some point you do want to fly back to the station to turn them in so that you actually get credit for it. And you know, if something stupid happens or you forget to log out or you run out of power or you overheat and die, as you saw, that you don't lose everything. But you can do plenty of, like I've been doing usually 10 scans. So every 10 scans, or well, it'd be 30 individual scans, but every 10 times I scan a plant, then I'll fly back and turn it in like this. And remember, this is on foot, so turn it in, you actually have to disembark. This does add a little bit of time to this loop, which is also why it doesn't make sense to turn it in after every scan. You can do a bunch of scans before you come back to turn things in. But once you're turning it in, you're on foot, which is another reason for using either a small or medium ship. Obviously, less running to the hangar lobby there if you're in the smaller ship. So this is a medium ship, so I get a little longer path to run than if I was doing this in a small ship. Okay. And people are saying use a small ship. You can use batteries to recharge yourself. All those things are true. Go up here. And in
Welcome
here.
to Vista Genomics. We wish to
this is
contribute to this
genomics, sell my
diginomics.
data.
Our scientists are keen for
And
new
you can
data.
see I'm going to get 1.9 million, which is not much, which is also why I said you don't do this for the money. You get some money, but it's not much money. But you're doing it for getting in the top 75% in order to get the reward. Now, it's 1.9 because we scanned twice. So it's basically like 850 for every scan of the plant. So we'll go ahead and sell this. And if I had done 10 of these, then I would be coming in with 8.5 million here.
Vista thanks you. For
If you do 100 of these, 85 million.
Life out here is just a little bit too unpredictable.
And as I mentioned, currently, the bottom end of 75% is 9 of these, 9 scans. So we're 2 out of 9 right now with this account. And then the top 10 people are over 1,000 scans, which is a lot. But I suspect, given that this is day 2 of the event, that minimum of 9 will probably be closer to 40. You know, I'm just guessing here, but just based on how quickly this has gone up from 2 to 9, it went up from 2 to 9 today. So I'm going to guess that over the next 2 weeks, it'll probably go up to 40 or so. But that's really about it, guys. There you go. And if you fly to the dark side, the only difference is going to be you don't have to watch your health because your health will stay at 100%. So there is a benefit to being on the dark side. But it's certainly doable even on the light side. It just takes a little bit longer because you're going to need to run back. Usually every 3 scans. Since I've been talking and showing it, I was a little slower. So for me, it ended up being every 2 scans. But nonetheless, if you do it in the dark, you won't have to worry about any of this. And on the dark side of the planet, the plants glow blue. So you don't even need a light, really, because the plants themselves glow. So let me know if you ended up doing this CG, if you're looking forward to getting the suit. And I will catch you on the next one.